Hi,
Hello,
everyone.
everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Arcana Magic series. And today we are going deep. I mean, not that we haven't, but we both have a feeling like the cards that we're going to be diving in today will really take us deep because that is their purpose. So we're going to be talking about the Hermit and the Wheel of Fortune.
Yes, absolutely. So welcome back, everyone. So grateful to have you here today. We're gonna be digging into these super dynamic cards. Every single card, we feel like we were just talking about this. They're all very dynamic, but
Yeah.
these two cards hold a lot of energy, and I'm excited to get into it. So if you have a chance and you're in a place where you can pull out your cards, the Hermit and the Wheel of Fortune. The Hermit, oh, you're not gonna be able to see it.
You
Um,
can put it close to you. So
oh, okay.
there
Here's
we go. Yeah. Oh, I love your deck. Every time you show me a card from your deck, I'm like, oh, I love it.
this super dynamic. Kind of just pull it out and see if anything like jumps out to you about it. And the Hermit,
Yeah,
and we're gonna get into it today. So
yeah,
get started.
yeah. Let's see here. Before we begin, let's go ahead and do a little reflection on last week. So, how was that? How were you able to work with the chariot and the strength? There was a beautiful dynamic there. How were you able to connect it? Go ahead and put it in the comments. Let us know how that showed up for you, how you were able to connect with these these archetypes of yourself and how that felt when you did that. That would be, yeah, we want to hear from you. Yeah.
Anything that, we said resonated, or if you're looking forward to talking about either of these two cards as well, uh, please share. We love to hear from you.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and do the centering meditation with your cards in front of you. Go ahead and close your eyes. You can even put your hand on the cards if that feels comfortable, or just put that energy, like the awareness that the cards are opening in front of you. So just close your eyes and begin to breathe into your body and just let everything dissolve with your breath. Let everything else go. Give this moment, this time to yourself as a gift. If you're here, you were meant to be here. You are meant to come here to receive the wisdom of today's transmission. Allow your breath to deepen, inhaling, imagining that you're breathing in light into yourself. And with your exhale, imagine letting go of the tightness, the stress, the to-do list. And just do this a couple of times to get a good flow. Inhaling light within, exhaling the stress and the tightness and to-do and all of that. And just allow that the noise of the outer world to just fall away. Just let it all go. Now imagine, see, sense, or feel like you're walking in a quiet mountain path under like this deep indigo sky. And the air is crisp and alive with silence. At the top of the path, as you're walking, you notice an old man. It might be a woman too, but a person standing there holding a lantern with this bright light inside of it. This is your hermit. Just go ahead and take notice of how you feel in the presence of your hermit. What does he or she looks like? What expression do they have on your face? And your hermit now turns to you with your light steady but gentle, illuminating only the few steps ahead of you. And your hermit whispers, your answers do not lie outside of you. They live within. Follow the light you carry. Your answers do not lie outside of you. They live within you. Follow the light you carry. Take a deep breath in here. You step closer to the lantern and you feel that glow awaken inside your chest, that bright light within your heart, your own inner flame of wisdom. Then the air began to move and shift. The ground trembles softly beneath your feet. And behind your hermit, the great wheel of fortune begins to turn with its spokes etched with ancient symbols, all golden and glycerin, its center pulsing like a heartbeat. Take a deep breath in. And as it turns, you see glimpses of your life, the seasons of joy, sorrow, growth, and grace. They're all spinning together in harmony. And the hermit nods and says, the wheel reminds us all changes serve your becoming. Stand still in the center and you will never lose your way. The wheel reminds us all changes serve your becoming. Stand in the center and you will never lose your way. And take a deep breath in, allowing the wisdom to anchor. Perhaps you find yourself at the center of your own wheel as it turns around you. And breathe. Breathe in the center. And feel both the stillness and the motion, the wisdom and the change. Allow the hermit's lantern and light to anchor you. And let the wheels turn and remind you that everything unfolds in divine timing. Now breathe all of that wisdom into your heart. And when you're ready, open your eyes.
That was
Welcome back.
gorgeous. Thank you so much. And I have to pull in the listeners a little bit. So Abigail does an amazing guided meditation, right? Like everyone can agree to that.
Oh, no, you did not.
And she keeps pushing me to lead it, and I'm like, but you do
Mhm.
good. But yours are so amazing. And what a gift to get to sit here with you and receive that guidance. So when you were going through it, it reminded me, and I was actually just getting ready to look it up. You recommended it to me, so you might remember. There's an audiobook with the meditations of the archon.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Um,
yes.
could maybe link that down in the show notes for this episode
Yeah.
because it really reminds me of her guided meditations, and she digs into each each arcana. So maybe
Yeah, I'm
I'll
trying to remember her name. Oh, she's such a magical being. I'll,
it's
f-
yeah, I'll look right now and see if because I'm pretty sure it should be in my I'll look and come back to it. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so it reminded me of that. So, anyways, anyone who's listening, please weigh in. Shouldn't Abigail do this every time she comes up?
Don't listen to her.
It's funny. I'd love to dig into well, I'm kind of looking at this. I would love to dig into the hermit to start with the
Yep,
hermit.
your magic. I love the Hermit card because it is the one of the cards that represents Virgo in astrology. And
Mhm.
I love it because it's like my excuse to withdraw and find my peace. So
Yeah.
when the Hermit shows up for me, I'm like, ah, it's time.
Hey, bye everyone.
Yay!
Bye.
Exactly.
I'll see you on the other side. Okay,
Or
so I just found
yeah,
it. So before we move on, it's the
there we
Main
go.
Arcana Meditations by Kim Cranes.
Kim Cranes. And
Or
she
Kran,
has
sorry, Cran.
crayons. Yeah, it's like K-R.
Krans. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'll link it down. Yeah, she has. But hearing you do it, I'm like, that reminded me of it.
Yeah. Yeah, she does beautiful journeys with each of the cards that you can just
Yeah.
listen
And
to.
it
I love
really
her.
helps bring it alive.
Yes.
So it would be a really great accompany to this series because it's kind of where, getting personal and telling about our experience, and that
Yeah.
one really just pulls it in for you. So
Yeah.
we check it out. So anyways, back to the hermit. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. The hermit. Oh, I think it's so interesting. I feel like I've been really walking with the hermit these last few months.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's interesting because solitude has been something that I've really had to get used to, which I don't think the hermit necessarily always means solitude.
Exactly. Yeah.
It really means coming back to yourself and
Yeah.
finding in yourself. But I do think a lot of times there's a big kind of current of kind of hibernation or kind of protecting your space and
Yeah.
because sometimes I think not that you can't come back to yourself, but sometimes we do have to like push out all the other opinions, all the
Yes.
voices, all the distractions, and to be able to hear our own wisdom.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the really beautiful things about the hermit
Yeah.
is kind of inviting us into that or calling us into that when when we're feeling the call for it.
Totally. I think I love that you mentioned that not it doesn't always lead to isolation. I think it depends on where you are on your journey and what is needed the most. If, like I see the hermit as I'm going into my cave because that's just how
Yep.
mine is structured. But
Mhm.
every day I get to go into my hermit phase when I dive into myself, when I meditate, when I'm journaling. That is my hermit self. Or when I'm
Mhm.
just sitting there with a book curled up. That's my
Yep.
hermit self, right? So depending on where you are and what it is you need, the whole point is for you to just come to yourself, come inside and be in here and be comfortable in here. And however way you're being called to is going to be very unique to each person. um but I love the hermit. It just is like, yay, I'm going into my cave.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point to kind of fold in like we should be carving out time every week, if not every day, to kind of have our own time where we're coming back to ourselves.
Yeah.
Um, and listening and
Listening.
um sometimes just being quiet enough to hear when the voices want to come. Not sometimes we don't even have to be doing any active, like journaling or anything, just being connected with our own self and our own truth. And the hermit is but there is some seasons where I think the hermit might show up where we are spending a little bit more time in solitude, like I am
Yeah,
currently. And it can be really confronting for some people.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm thinking all the fire signs who are
yeah,
naturally out there and the hermit comes in. It might feel like a pimp slap. It's like, wait,
yeah.
I don't want to go in there. I want to stay out here.
Absolutely. And even, for me, I was so used to being around people for so long. And then after my divorce, I had all this time where all of a sudden I was kind of confronted with all this time
Yeah.
alone, which was freeing and also felt really lonely and isolating in ways. But I think there's something to be said if you're one of those people like me where you've just always been around people, people have always been there, it's just kind of part of your kind of life experience. um I really want to encourage you to start intentionally spending time alone. It's something that I wish I would have done um while I was married, so it wasn't so like, whoa, I'm all alone all the time now.
Yeah.
And when you are in a season that's inviting you into it, it can feel
Mm.
really uncomfortable as you're kind of adjusting to, the quiet. Because that's what it was for me. It was like I always had kids and, a husband
Yeah.
and, people coming and going. And all of a sudden it was like days where I would just be me. And I'm like, whoa.
Mm.
And it was so quiet. But now I just savor it. It's such a like, it's not that I don't get lonely, but it's so peaceful that
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay to be lonely sometimes. Um,
Yeah.
so I think that's kind of an important piece to mention about the hermit because there's so much. I think when we know how to, I remember you told me once there's a difference between loneliness and aloneness. Uh,
Bingo.
and it's so true. And when you can really be comfortable in your aloneness and figure out how to fill up that space on your own, there's this really quiet confidence that will come. And then you start making decisions from, I have to fill this up to, what would be nice to add to this energy?
Yeah. Every time I remember the first time you stepped into the hermit,
Mhm.
and I remember it was like around this time of the year too.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
remember you had to literally shut the door to all your teachers so you
Mhm.
can listen to your own voice. And it was such a powerful decision. It was hard and you still did it. And now, like just looking at that action and where you are right now, which helped your inner voice to really push out, and now your inner voice is up front. But the
Yeah.
action that you had to take, and that was the hermit, like you had to shut out all the
Sometimes we have to
noise.
like, intentionally choose
Yes.
to go into the hermit mode, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's another really like valuable point is we are so used to receiving information, people telling us what to do or think or how, and like for one thing, I am such a like strong believer in mentorship. I think I know I wouldn't be the person I am without it. It's expanded me in ways that I um don't know if I could have done myself or maybe would have taken a lot longer or
Yeah.
it's such a valuable like part of transformation, I think, is
Yeah.
mentors to kind of shine lights on things that you don't see or just to receive what you're here, just to receive sometimes it's just I just need to get all this out there.
Yes.
But I remember that too so specifically, and I was feeling like I had been almost like inundated with different advice and mentorship, and I was like, I don't even know what's mine anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I believe or what's true for me. And I just had to be like, enough, quiet. Um, and like intentionally, step back from that. Not that I'm like completely like cut, but just was like, okay, this is a time to come back.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh, there's your hand. That's what and coming kind of
Yes.
finding yourself again.
Yeah.
So sometimes life will put us in these situations where it's kind of like the hermit will come and visit us because of life
Yeah.
circumstances. And then sometimes we need to intentionally go through the cave, um,
Yes.
spend some time alone so that we can really find our own light again.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons why I love the hermit is I have past lives. At least I know some of my most recent past lives I lived in a cave. And we've talked about it. I was a mystic in the cave, and people would come and visit me, and I loved it. And I
Yeah.
remember in this lifetime, it took me a long time to adjust that I don't get to escape into a cave and just be and enjoy myself because, and just bringing a little bit of astrology, my what is it called? My north and south node. So my south node is in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius brings in a little bit of that hermit because
Mhm.
Sagittarius is the one that travels up into mountain
Very
and
independent.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so that's natural to me, which was a past life. And so in this lifetime, I was like, I just want to sit on a mountain and people will come to me. It's like, no, you have to be down here.
You kind of do though. That's what's funny.
I find I
I
had to redefine it. I
I was
had to
thinking,
restructure.
I was thinking when you were saying, I'm like, I probably was one of those passer throughers to come and get some wisdom from you. Um, and you're still
You had your own cave. What are you talking about?
and still doing that. So
Yeah.
different, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's so interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that you can kind of find your own, like that you do, like a place you go or something that you
yeah,
do because you are married, you have Xavier. So is there a way that you kind of are able to do that?
I have to. That's part of the restructuring. And I still get challenged. That's the
Mhm.
thing. It's never ending. Like I have to find the things that make me feel like I'm in my own cave. So it might be getting into a book that just journeys me somewhere else. I right now I'm able to listen to audiobooks. And so like as I'm doing the dishes, I'm listening. I'm like, in that moment, I'm not in the mundane. I am in this magical world. And it gives me that little bit of, okay, let's step out for a little bit and breathe. Or even listening to music. I love listening to classical music sometimes. And it does that same thing where it just gives me that peace and quiet and just drops me in, you know like meditation, journaling does it for me because again, it brings me right into myself. When I am in prayer or speaking to the divine, that does that for me too. Yeah, so
Yeah.
those are a few of them, but they're constantly evolving and changing. It's
Depending
never the same. Yeah.
on kind of what's feeling most connected to you. And so it's not like necessarily the same practice or the
Yeah.
same that you go to every time. It's interesting for me because it's like it was so confronting being single when I first got divorced. And now, 4 years out, it's like I am so comfortable being alone now.
Yeah.
The hermit has really just been my friend in this
Yeah.
season. Not that I've been alone the whole time, obviously. There's different times I have the kids and then I don't have the kids every other week. And those weeks that I don't have them, there's been this opening. And I think that that time has created enough quiet for me that I feel so like, I don't know. I think between that kind of exterior, quiet that's been kind of just this is the season I'm in.
Yeah.
And then my intentional kind of quiet or seeking that I've been, studying and guiding and gathering and meditating and
Yeah.
things, journaling, writing, um, that I feel so connected to my truth, to my own light. And that's why if anyone's listening and you're feeling like I don't know. I don't really know myself or you just feel maybe a little disconnected. I really want to encourage you to intentionally, spend some time really just on your own, in your own way. However you can do that. Everyone's circumstances are different. And maybe it's just in the morning you're, waking up 20 minutes early to grab that little bit of peace before, the life like gets busy. Or at night when everything goes quiet, you're going to intentionally spend time really investigating your own light through journaling,
Yeah.
meditating, or prayer, or coloring, or art, or creating, like really anything that's just for you, for your sake,
Yeah.
not for the sake of anything else.
Yeah. And also sometimes you just have to sit in the silence.
Yeah.
Like when you the two examples of the morning and
Yeah.
the early morning and the but yeah, the early mornings and the late nights, so when everyone is sleeping, those are the times that I literally just sit and breathe
Yeah.
and just be with that silence because it's rare. Like it's like I only get it at this time. So it in a way it's like because I need that to reconnect and refuel. It pushes me to sleep later, but it's part of that, it's part of that self nurturing and coming back to self. But
Yeah.
it's okay to,
Whether it's daily or weekly, you're going to go out for your walk where you're just walking by yourself. That's also, and it doesn't have to be inside necessarily. Even
exactly.
we kind of think of that as, like a cocoon kind of stage, but just time alone to just
Yeah.
quiet all the voices, quiet all the noise, and just let yourself just have be okay with the quiet, first of all. Because like for
Mm,
me, it wasn't. It was really uncomfortable. That quiet was like it felt like it was deafening, if that makes sense. It was so
yes.
but then you start hearing your own voice again. And that's, or sometimes you just feel at ease because you're allowing everything else to fade away. So
Yeah.
the Hermit is such a beautiful card. And there's so much, I feel like it's very dynamic because, we think, okay, it's spending time alone and it's in isolation, but it's all about really coming back to your own light, like your own one.
Yes.
And so yeah, so for anyone who's listening, spend some time kind of in your hermit energy and
In your aloneness,
Mhm.
the hermit is the greatest teacher when it comes to teaching you about aloneness and loneliness. Yeah.
Yeah, and there is a difference. And you can be
Huge difference.
when you're surrounded by people.
Yeah.
Uh, and and so it's alone loneliness doesn't necessarily come from being alone.
Yeah.
uh, but I think actually the more intentional time we spend alone, especially when we're in situations where we don't have a lot,
Yeah.
that is actually a way of battling loneliness because it's having company with yourself
Exactly.
and
Exactly. Date nights with yourself.
able to do that, right? And I'm so grateful that I've had like these last few years to really have these big spaciousness to really reconnect with me and who I am and expand on that understanding. Because when you can feel comfortable with yourself, it makes you so much stronger in just maneuvering through life.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's see here.
So
Hopefully that
moving,
helps.
should we move on to the Wheel of Fortune?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do that. I feel like that. Well,
Yeah.
because we're looking at stillness and aloneness with a hermit, but then this the Wheel of Fortune comes in and teaches us about balance in movement, in motion. So they're kind of opposite in that way, but you need that stillness to anchor you so that when you are in the movement, you're not being tossed around
Yeah.
constantly. Yeah. So the Wheel of Fortune is, I love that in the meditation, it brought you to the center so you can kind of feel what was going on there. Um, it's about the seasons of life, the cycles of your life, and how we honor that and also co create with that and find the balance in the movement. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the seasons of life analogy. I
Yeah.
think there are times where we kind of talked about it last week with the chariot where we're jumping in alignment and moving forward. And then there's seasons where we're, leaning into the hermit and things are quiet and still. So really feeling comfortable with these different paces of life. I think a lot of times people are so accustomed to movement that when
Yes.
stop, it can feel wrong. Um, and I think one of the things with the Wheel of Fortune is alignment, but there's also kind of a karmic or synchronistic
Mm-hmm.
I think the Wheel of Fortune is one of the most interesting cards.
It
Because
really is.
it is a mystery. And there's so many things about it. One of the things, so I had the Wheel of Fortune, we both did.
We both did.
It was the our door for the same year, and we were both like, what? How are we becoming the Wheel of Fortune? This is so weird. But one of the reflections I've had, and it didn't come in that year, it actually came after, is the Wheel of Fortune is also a big representative of cause and effect. So
Mm,
something might enter your life, a person might enter your life that is shifting the dynamic that you don't even realize the dynamic is shifting for a year or a
yeah.
month, like however long down the road. So I think that's one of the really interesting things about the Wheel of Fortune is in my experience in, kind of working with the energy of the Wheel of Fortune that whole year, and then also having it as a door for different months
Yeah.
is it isn't instant. It's not something, it's much more, how do I want to say it? It's it's not always going to be something that's like cause an immediate effect.
Yes.
And it kind of has made me pause and realize how things sometimes we're planting seeds today, or some encounters happening today that is shifting the dynamic
Yeah.
of how we're experiencing things, and we don't even realize it until, down the road when something else happens. And if you're not paying attention, you may never realize it.
Yeah.
You may never realize that, oh my gosh, I remember that's when I started that project, or that's when I met that person. And then so I think the Wheel of Fortune has like a long wheel. Like sometimes we're getting on the wheel and it's going to go all the way around.
Yeah.
And so that's something interesting. There's a lot of alignment about being in alignment so that you can kind of catch the wheel and move into the
Yeah.
alignment in the energy that you're wanting to move into.
I think one of the interesting thing about the wheel for, and you can cut when you look at the image, at the bottom you see that red being. It
Hmm.
really, and then at the top you have the angels, you have I think it's a swan, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the other, there's the other animals also down there.
I love how
It's
they're
that
all reading
mystical.
mine. They're all reading books. It's
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. They all
yeah,
have books
yeah.
and there's no words in there. Like it's just an empty book.
yeah,
Then you have the Sphinx with the sword at the top and
yeah,
the snake coming in from the
yeah.
left.
And then the
So
cloud.
fascinating.
There's a lot of dynamics. It really feels like the Wheel of Fortune feels multidimensional to me.
It really is. It
It
really
really
is.
feels like, when we start talking about kind of moving into different timelines and energies, the Wheel of Fortune feels in alignment with that for me because
Yeah.
something that it's something we can control and it's something we have no control over. Both are true.
Yeah.
Like the pace of the wheel, kind of some of the currents we get caught up into. We have a certain amount of control, and then there's sometimes we have zero control over how kind of life is happening to us. And I love that in the meditation, how it really invited us to get in the center,
Yes.
because that's a reminder that no matter what's happening outside, life can be chaotic. Things can happen outside of our, you know,
Yes.
like influence, right? Things happen, crazy things happen, and we kind of can feel like we're just being kind of, thrown out into and if you're centered in the center of that wheel, which to me is really about surrender and trust.
Yeah.
When you can surrender and trust and know that life is seasonal, that this is whatever you're moving through, has meaning, has purpose, there's opportunities for growth. It might not always be easy or smooth, and sometimes it feels really fast, and then other times it's like you're moving through mud. There's all of those pieces. Um, but when you can really surrender and trust that all of this is happening for your highest and best.
Yeah,
I think that's how we get to the center of the wheel, regardless of what's
totally.
going on around us.
I feel like many people are trying to ride the wheel,
Mm.
which because it is not one constant speed, it is
Mhm.
influenced by a lot of things, whether cosmically or physically, and it can go at so many different. So if you are choosing to stand on the wheel, like that is just
You're
nerve-wracking.
in a
That's
lot.
chaos.
Yeah, it's gonna feel that's true. And I think
Your
it can
life feels chaotic.
it helps
Yeah.
think that it's the wheel and the hermit are paired because I think when people are like at the extra of the wheel and don't feel comfortable in that
Yeah.
quietness, I know a lot of people who, or I don't want to say a lot of people, but I have known people who almost feel more comfortable in the chaos than they would the quiet.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
even if things aren't great, it's like something's happening and it's giving me something to, like
Yes.
move through. And then when things stop is when it can feel really confronting. And so it's just this reminder that like life is seasonal and being able to anchor into the hermit, I think it's a really beautiful anchor for the wheel
Yes.
because regardless of if things are going really fast and you're riding this high momentum and things are clicking and all of your like so many of your goals are happening and things are like you're making all this progress, you
Yeah.
need to still be able to come back to your own light, your own hermit to be able to stay in alignment with it. And also, when the wheel feels like it's pretty much stopped, that is an opportunity to come back and learn more. What is the hermit wanting to show you? What is there to learn in this quietness, in the
Yeah.
uncomfort or the discomfort of the stillness? And so, like, we all go through, I think that's kind of one of the things at the heart of the wheel, too, is change is promised. Like, nothing is going to stay this way
Absolutely.
forever. And no matter how good or how bad it is, whatever it is going to pass. It's going to shift. Things is it's not going to look this way forever. Like that's the one guarantee, right?
I love
Um,
that. Yeah.
and when I think sometimes when it's it's kind of easy to forget that. Um, Not that we don't know. We know life is changing. We know that, but it's almost like but it's happening for everyone. This is true
Exactly.
for everyone. And it kind of makes it where it's a lot less about us
Mm,
in a way. It's like, yes, I know. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm really explaining it all that well,
you're doing great. Yeah. You're doing
but
great.
I do feel like there's this place where sometimes we can be like in a pity party, like, oh, why is this? It's or like high on our horse. And it's just like, just remember this wheel's gonna
It doesn't
shift.
last.
This wheel is gonna shift. Just remember that.
And
Whatever season
even,
you're in, it's gonna shift
yeah.
you too. So don't get too high on your horse because your wheel's gonna shift, and don't, judge someone else because their wheel's gonna shift too. Everyone's wheel's
Mm.
shifting.
Exactly. Like even looking at the symbolism on the wheel, like the snake comes in first. It's like this is a cycle of regeneration, death and rebirth. That red being reminds me of when we're being tested, but all or yeah, or like in our lower point, like times of, or what am I looking for?
Yeah, challenge.
Yeah, challenge. And then the Sphinx, it's also a time of challenge, but it's like a gatekeeper kind of thing, but it's all the different cycles that we move through. We move through the regeneration, the death and rebirth, and even going beyond this symbolism, we can look at nature. Nature is the full manifestation of this card right here.
Mhm.
Seasons, spring, fall, summer, and which one am winter. Like all of those seasons teach us something
Yeah.
about ourselves. Like we're going in the northern hemisphere, we're going into, well, we're in the fall, about to go into the winter, but the fall is teaching us right now to let go. By watching the leaves change colors and drop to the ground, is like, what do we need to let go? How
And
can
how
we?
beautiful it
Yeah.
like fall is such a beautiful, everything is, changing colors and it looks so vibrant. And so change doesn't have to be,
Yeah.
it's it's beautiful, you know?
Yeah. You know what this teaching also, the woman who helped us to create our own seasons chart,
Mhm.
like that's such a powerful tool to understand your own seasons.
Yeah,
Because
and
when
that
you
kind of is at the heart of this
it
rejuvenative.
is
We'll
beautiful.
have to link her stuff too or give some.
Yes, it is so beautiful because you can look at it and be like, oh, I'm in the season of this, and I'm in my winter right now. And it doesn't usually correlate with what is happening.
It
Like,
doesn't always. Sometimes it does.
yeah.
It's like your birth. It's based on, your birth.
Exactly. So your winter might happen in the summer, or
Yeah.
but it's about you and what how you're moving, and it's again, it's like bringing it to now you can see your own wheel in front of you moving. It's just such a magical. Like
And
I want to talk to her and be like, "Did you notice that?"
right, you
You
should.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
Um,
cool.
and
Yeah.
it's interesting because when you were explaining, that you were going through the different parts of the card, the different archetypes. Um, when I look at that red kind of, I don't even know what it
You
is.
can just say red bean.
Red.
Yeah.
It to me, I look at it as like that looks like to me like it's supporting the wheel. Like it doesn't really look to me like like you mentioned challenge. And so this is just a really good example for
Yeah.
take what resonates for you. We aren't here to tell you
Yeah.
what should resonate, or you may look at this and have a totally different energy or connection or feeling interpretation.
Yep.
Um, and when I looked at it, I was thinking it feels like it's supporting the wheel. It's like holding up the wheel.
Yeah.
And then what is it at the top? What's the
The
blue?
Sphinx.
The Sphinx is like, I feel like the Sphinx is like protector energy too, like kind of
Oh,
like,
that is cool.
um, and and when you were explaining it, I almost was seeing myself as the wheel.
Yeah, that is cool.
So another thing about the wheel, I think, and it's really present in the archetypes that come out for me is all the support. We have the angels and
Yes.
all of these, even the books, like there's all of this like support. We're so supported as we are moving through the seasons of life, as we're going through different challenges and triumphs, and as we are, excelling and moving ahead and finding our momentum, like we're supported through all of it. So the
Yeah.
wheel is so dynamic card. And I mean, if I'm being honest, there's still a little bit of a like, I think I understand you, but
Not
I
really.
don't know. Like,
I think every time we get the wheel, we always say, "I did you get it yet?" And we're like, "Nope,
yeah.
nope." Like it still eludes me
Maybe
until
because it's like
afterwards.
the wheel of
Yeah,
fortune, you think like good fortune is happening. Like that's some of the traditional things
exactly.
that are
Yeah.
like if you were to like look this up in like a book or something, it'll probably say those things. I feel like it doesn't really represent that. It hasn't represented that necessarily for me. It's more of a shift, like a
Exactly.
big chapter shift or
Yeah.
something's gonna shift. And it's always now I'm just so like, oh, I wonder because I had it as as my door
Yes.
recently. I can't remember. I think it was last month, maybe. Uh,
Last month or the month before. Yeah, one
yeah,
of them.
yeah. And I was like, and that's when it kind of all came full circle that something may be shifting that I'm not even aware of yet. And I'm not going
Mm.
to realize the significance of it until down the line. Like maybe I met someone and it was a casual conversation and then that
Oh,
turns into something a lot more meaningful later or something. And so it's always interesting to me. It just feels like this little mysterious nugget of okay, things are shifting. It's like
yeah.
just a little like whisper, like just so you know, there's
Yeah.
the the tides are turning kind of. And so yeah, it has a lot of energy.
Yeah.
I feel more and more connected to it. Um and the energy of the mystery.
I love that. Well said. Well said. It's one of those cards. You will hear us talk about this or bring this up many times. It's one of those cards where it works in the undercurrent. It's not the in your face. You don't notice its effects like, like you said, until like way later. It
Yeah, it's
works on that
like
deeper.
in
Yeah.
cause and effect type of thing
Yeah.
from my experience. Not to say that it couldn't happen for you or that that never happens. You may pull the wheel of fortune and then something really shifts for you really quick, and that's really
Exactly.
symbolic, and can be meaningful too. But I just always feel like it's just this, like, things are shifting. It's a
Yeah.
message that things are turning,
Yeah.
that, like, that reminder that life is seasonal, that whatever we're going through, because sometimes you can be in a season for a long time and it can start
Yeah.
feeling like, what the heck? I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, ready, like I'm doing all the things to move out of it. And it kind of goes back to that there's things in our control, and then there's a lot of
Yeah.
things outside of our control. And what is such a beautiful gift when in any of those seasons is the hermit, is to come back to ourselves and create that spaciousness inside ourselves,
Yeah.
so that we can either weather or enjoy or, expand on whatever is coming through. So,
Exactly.
let's move on to the journal.
Yes.
And
Would you want to take the hermit and I'll do the wheel?
yes, if I can find it. I had it up and then
It disappears. Yeah.
tab, tabs. You know how it goes. Tabs, tabs, tabs. Hold on one second. You go ahead and start. Why don't you start and then I'll take. Oh,
Okay.
oh, I have it. I found it.
You got it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here are your journal prompts for the hermit. So if you're wanting to, if you're like, oh, the hermit sounds nice, I want to go get into some nice solitude, or if you're like, I'm really confronted with my aloneness right now, the
Mm,
journal prompts. Where am I being called to turn inward right now? Where am I being called to turn inward right now? The second one is, what is my inner light trying to show me that I've been avoiding?
mm,
Ooh, that's a good one.
that's a good one.
What is my inner light trying to show me that I've been avoiding? And you can also just ask, what is my inner light trying to show me, if you want it to
Yeah.
be more candid. And then the final one is, how does solitude support my spiritual growth? I love that one. How does solitude support my spiritual growth?
Yeah. So such good ones.
Um,
So for Wheel of Fortune, I'm just going to do a quick review, the themes of it. So cycles, we talked a little bit about fate, timing, destiny, seasons. It's about trusting the rhythm of life's changes, life's turning, and embracing both the ascent. So when the wheel goes up, and then also it comes down. So just trusting all of that. So here, the first question that you can contemplate and journal on: what cycle am I currently moving through? And am I in the beginning, middle, or completing? So
hmm.
first answer the first part. What cycle am I currently moving through? And then once you get a gist of it, then you
Kind of
ask,
the
am I at the
theme that
beginning?
you're
Yeah.
kind of like, if regarding, is it this regarding your work or your
Yeah.
family, your relationship, kind of latch on, and then where in the cycle are you at? That's a
Yeah.
really good question. Wow.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it
And this
reminds us that things are seasonal. It's that
exactly.
really gentle reminder that, especially if it's something challenging, that, oh, I'm okay, I'm in the middle of this. I see the
Yeah.
light. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The second one is, how can I find peace in the flow of change rather than resisting it? So,
Mm.
how can I find peace in the flow of change rather than resisting it?
Mm.
And the third one is, where in my life am I being asked to surrender control and trust? Hold on. And trust divine timing. And Nicolette spoke on this one beautifully. Where in my life am I being asked to surrender control and trust divine timing? That's a
Mm.
good one. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I love those. And it's reassuring to me because like we're going through it and I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of quickly reviewed the notes that we had, the show notes. But I was really in theme, so that's like, okay, well,
Yes, yes. You crack me up.
I understand. I get it. I see you, Wheel of Fortune and
I
Hermit.
don't think you guys understand. Whenever we feel that sense of that we get this card, it's like a big triumph. Because again, this is one of those cards that you're like, I have no idea.
Worked with this card for a whole year. We're still kind of like, I
What are you
think,
about again?
but
How are you showing up for me?
things is the layers, like
Yeah,
revelations have come since that time.
yeah,
And the like, 2020 is hindsight is 2020 or whatever
yeah,
the thing is, it's really true because I've been able to look back and be like, oh my gosh, that was the year that this happened. And at the time it didn't seem significant, but then in
yeah.
hindsight it really is. So yeah, so and that's one of the really beautiful things about being journaling consistently is
Yes,
get to have this record and go back through and remind yourself and remember, oh yeah, during this time, this is kind of some of the things I was experiencing. So take some time to journal on these prompts and make sure to come and share any insights or feedback that came in through that process. If you had any ahas as you heard us talking, or if you have a story that's really that you would love to share about the hermit, or if
yes,
please share it in the comments. If you know someone who would love this podcast, please share it. And make sure you're subscribed so that you get notified every time we release a new episode, which is every Wednesday.
yes. Oh, well, thank you all again for joining us on another adventure with our own archetypes and learning more about our own selves. So we're excited to come back next time. Who are we bringing in next time? Let's see here. Oh man. Okay, so next time we're coming in with Justice and the Hangman.
Okay, just
Yes, so
and
that's going to be another interesting one.
they're all so interesting. Like there is so, yeah. So definitely come in. So just a little sneak peek. The hangman is a lot about surrender perspectives, shifting your perspective, looking at things from a different angle, and justice is exactly what you think. It's really about karmic scales and
Right or wrong.
right or wrong
Yeah.
and kind of what it means to be in integrity and
Yes.
how we're intentionally maneuvering through this world. So
Look
uh,
at you already ahead. Don't give them that yet.
make sure to chime in. It's just a little
She gave
teaser.
you a little clue so you can chew on it before
Yeah,
you
it's
come back.
back. You got to come back and hear the whole story.
Yes, but please take some time to connect to today's cards and deepen into them. Trust me, it will be a gift for your own self.
Go
But
into
until, go ahead.
your hermit cave, do some journal,
Yes,
and then come back and share with us.
I love that. I love that. All right, my loves, until next time. Bye.